All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me today. This is a new format uh, that I decided to try for Complex Convo with Sonia B. That's me. Our topic today is breaking out of the proverbial boxes. So, when I'm talking about boxes, I'm not talking literal boxes. I'm talking about the boxes that tend to suffocate us as women, that often minimize our maximum potential. How about that? And they're not
Okay.
necessarily just boxes that people put on us, people, i.e., coworkers, men or other women, but even boxes that we put on ourselves. And I want to invite all of you to feel free to jump in. I'm just simply trying to facilitate this conversation so that I'm not talking to just one. And you're not limited to what you say or how you say it. Feel free to be. You guys ready?
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you muted, Pauline?
I did just a little bit.
No.
I'm gonna
Unmute.
unmute as I'm talking because we're recording.
Lillian is welcome to
Okay,
participate
I
in
didn't want
today's
the extra
conversation.
dog barking.
Okay. So when I think about boxes, I think about I often talk about relationships on my channel, but just as a woman, society tells us that, you can't be multifaceted. You are either pretty or smart. Can't be both. You're either, the sporty dresser, leggings, sweatshirts, or you're the fashionista, but that you can't, be both. And I'm sure we can all say that on any given day, we we can dress down or we can dress it up. But when you think about boxes, what do you guys think about? What kind of boxes do you think? Or have you yourself been subjected
Well, it's funny you asked that question because recently I have been dealing with some boxes.
to? Okay.
And when I think about boxes, I think about mindset and limited beliefs. And like you said, I totally agree. As a society, you have to look a certain way or speak a certain way or do certain things in order to be considered as acceptable or in order to be considered as successful, when each of us are given certain gifts and certain talents. And because of one person or a group of people identifying what's supposed to be acceptable, then everybody seems to have fallen into that belief that they have to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally have fallen into that belief, thinking that I had to be a certain way. And I was, especially when I was young and, being raised and, you had to act this way, you had to go to this school, you had to get this grades. And it was like, now I'm finding out after I'm 62 years old, thank you, Lord, for making it to 62.
Okay, don't even
But,
look at
you know,
A
I'm
good
finding out that a
62.
lot of the things that I was led to believe, the boxes that I was put in, was not true. And so really doing that work and first of all acknowledging it, with
Mhm.
myself, and then being open to doing that work, which means that you have to be vulnerable. And
Oh,
that's one thing that I really struggled with. I've gotten better at it,
mm-hmm.
but I really struggle with, because in order to get out of the boxes that sometimes what other people put us in, or we put our own selves in through our minds, what we think, our thought process, our limited beliefs, and you have
Mm-hmm.
to become vulnerable. And that means that you have to connect with someone else, you have to build trust,
Right.
because I'm not about you ladies, but it was difficult for me to trust after being hurt so many times and manipulated and rejection. And so that box, that's a whole nother box.
That's about two or three. I think I heard three
Right.
Look,
Right.
okay, look.
But
boxes there.
in that box, when speaking about that,
That's
those two or
right.
three extra boxes that you mentioned, those are like self-imposed boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on top of somebody
Self-imposed
boxing you
boxes.
in, and
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you just because to back up just a little bit when you said the way you grew up, because PT doesn't know, and Stephanie, do you and Yolanda know each other? No. Okay.
I
Stephanie,
don't, well, I don't see her face.
well,
I'm
you
really
don't
bad
see her
with names.
face.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm bad with names, but I see her face, be like, what's up, girl?
So for the panel, you know, if you could give just a little background on how you were raised, what was that major box?
Okay, so the major box was a box of performance. I was raised in a two-parent home. I had both mom and dad. My dad was a pastor, and my mom, you know, was at home for while we were young. But then as we got older, she ended up going back to work, and you know, was very involved. But growing up where I was very scrutinized. We were very scrutinized as a family because my dad was a pastor of the church. So that means that we were very visible in the community, and I couldn't do things that other kids did, or I was expected to do things different than other kids did. And I was always the one that wanted to know why. Well, you know, what are you telling you want to do this, or you know, you need to do, well, why? Well, you can't go with your friends. Well, why? You can't go do that. Well, why? And so I never, as a child, to me, I never got the answer that I needed to explain why I was supposed to be behaving a certain way. And so what that caused in me was a pleaser people personality.
Yep.
So that I started doing things like I felt in order to get love, I had to do good grades. I had to be the good girl. I had to obey. I had to, you know, listen. I had to do, and all of these things are very vital and very key for us, for children to do. But when they don't understand and don't make the connection between why it's important for them to do that, then it causes a different mindset in that child. And so when they grow up, like I did grow up, and then you go out into the world and it's like, wait a minute, you start finding things out for yourself. And it's like, well, now that I'm older, I understand. But as I was coming up, I didn't. So because of that, it led me to limited beliefs. It led me to boxing myself like I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or, you know, I'm isolating myself because I wasn't allowed to, you know, stay, you know, go where I wanted to go. For instance, from 7th to 12th grade, I went to a all girls, predominantly Caucasian girls' school. I did not want to do that. But I was, you know, and granted, the whole reasoning behind it was to provide an excellent education. And thank God, yes, I did get that. But as far as socially, I failed because I couldn't connect with the type of girls who were there, you know, rich, Caucasian, rich, had money. And a lot of the girls were there from in the boarding schools. And so their parents were, you know, traveling or whatever. They can hear you stick your child in, you know, a school so you don't have to deal with your child. But then I come home to a community of people that look like me, that I feel that I can relate to, but I'm not allowed to associate with them as well. So it's like, where do you fit in? Where, you know, how do I truly be my authentic self with still, you know, being positive and going forward? And it's like, you know, so that's my background. But as I grew older, I started, like I said, I started to research. I do a lot of personal development. I have gone to therapy and different things to help me deal with me and deal with the issues and some of the trauma that I experienced. Not that it was a bad situation, because I had both the mom and dad, you know, never went hungry, had clothes on my back, food in my stomach, you know, all the physical needs. But the emotional needs, there was something lacking there. And it wasn't to their fault. You know, we as parents raise our children to the best of our ability. And a lot of it is generational. And it's because of what happened to them. And then they do it to us. And then we do it to our children, because I have 2 sons and 9 grandchildren. And so, you know, that's that generational cycle, except for I decided, no, I'm breaking it. So that's a box that's being broken. we getting ready to burst out the box.
The big TK box, then the, you know, the community box, because you were living in one community, but actually being reared in another. So for you, PT, what type of boxes do you have experience with?
So similar to what Yolanda was referring to is you do find yourself putting in these boxes that somehow society makes boxes that are accessible to everybody. So it doesn't even matter if you knew about the box. You don't even sometimes realize that you're falling into that trap. And it could be, in some cases, just survival, because you're navigating in a place or you're navigating situations where you might not be as welcome or as valued as some of the other people that are in the same situation, AKA box. And you just kind of put yourself in those places, one, for safety sometimes.
So it's a comfort zone.
It's sometimes you find it to be a bit of a comfort zone, and then it becomes a safe haven because now you're in familiar things. These are the things that are familiar to me. Now, it's a positive and it's a negative to some things like that. When we feel safe, a lot of times it gives us some security, so that we feel more comfortable taking baby steps to do things outside of that box. Because it's like, peeking out the window and we're looking, oh, I'm not ready yet. And you go back in where you're safe. And
right.
Then you go, okay, well, I'm just gonna put my hand out there and see what happens. And then you pull it back in. So you do, at sometimes those boxes, although they're not the best places for us to be in times, they do provide a safe haven for us, so that when we are going out of those comfort zone areas, we have a place we feel familiar we can come back to. But when it can be a negative is when it starts to become a detriment to us, where we're fearful of everything outside the box. Once we become fearful of what's happening outside the box, we tend not to want to go outside the box. And when we do that, we deteriorate. We're suffocating ourselves by staying in a place where we can't grow. You need sunlight to grow. You need water to grow. You need other experiences and opportunities and lessons to learn, to expand your thought, to expand what you think you know, and test it out someplace. We all know 1 and 1 is 2. Right?
But is it really? Inside my body.
Really too when we get outside of here.
Okay.
Still too here. So I think, and that's where we're safe, but we also have to take those chances and be confident. Build up your confidence here. Step outside that box. Don't let it hold you in where you don't get that chance to grow and flourish and experience other things. Have I been in a box? Yes. Have I put myself in the box? Yep. Did I let other people put me in a box? I allowed that. Am I trying to get out of boxes? To this very day, at this very moment, I'm trying to still get out of boxes. And right. I just think, the way I grew up, I had a 2-parent home. My dad worked, my mom, she worked, and we didn't have much, but we had each other, and it was a lot of love, a lot of lessons. And one of the things that we were taught for sure was being self-reliant, making sure we're hardworking people, that we use common sense. We might not have all been able to go to college straight away, but we were able to somehow understand the value and gain that education. That was something that was made very important in my household. That we had to read, we had to write, we had to learn how to do other things and get advanced degrees. And we had to put ourselves in those situations, no matter how long it took. I watched my mother go to college. I sat with her in some of her old community college classes back in the day when we could do that. Right. When community college was free, and then it got to be $5 a unit, and it was like, well, we can't go to school like that. You know what I mean?
Then 12, then 13, then 25.
But we had that importance on education, because that was the one thing that people could not take away from you. And that was the thing that could get you out of boxes. You can get in a box, so you can get your foot in the door, but then you can get out that box because you had it and you could build on it. So yeah, we still trying to get out of the other boxes that they didn't tell us about? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Stephanie, are you still with us? You still whipping up your suit? Bueller? Okay.
Yes, I'm still whipping up my suit.
Okay.
I just put myself on mute so you don't have to hear me clocking my clanking of the pot.
You're in the mom box right now. That's
She's in the
box
mama,
you
she's in the
She
chef
in the
box.
mom box. See, we just put you in the box.
Yeah, she's in the chef box.
I would say I don't think I'm in a mom box. Just
Got you. Just being self-reliant. Darn it.
Yes.
So Stephanie, what's your experience on boxes?
Just in listening to you ladies, I realized that my boxes are self-imposed.
Okay.
I put myself in a box to deal with my comfort level. And when I say my parents, I'm going to say my mother, my aunt, and my uncle, because I was raised by 3 and not by just 1 because of my father passing. So between the 3, my parents migrated to California from Georgia and Florida. So they got out of their box and kind of had the expectation of us to do the same. And so I chose to stay in California and not do anything other than want to be a wife and a mother. So I put myself in a box, but that wasn't what was expected of me. It was to go out into the world and see where you can find your place, and we'll support that. So now looking back on years later, I realized that I should have stepped out of my own self-imposed box.
So do you regret your self-imposed box?
Yes.
But you found value in it. You found comfort in it initially, right?
Yeah, I did. I felt like I did what I was supposed to do. But I wish I had done something different. Yeah.
And then speaking of that, we've shared a little bit about some of the boxes that, we've either imposed on ourselves, our parents, our families impose on us. But how do you start to break out of those boxes? Because it seems like every day, you give yourself a new goal, a new type of challenge. You're faced with a new box presents itself. How do you start to break out of those boxes? For me, it's I'm finding I'm putting myself in more boxes than I've allowed others to put me in. So I think I've successfully broken out of some of those boxes, but I find myself boxing myself in return. So I'm still trying to work on that balance. How are you guys finding your way out of those boxes, whether self-imposed or imposed by others?
For me, I'm just taking small chances, taking on small challenges. Test the water, so to speak. I'm being very intentional in some things that I'm doing, hence being here today. It's not something that I would normally do, but I felt that it would be a good opportunity for me to go ahead and have this conversation and, share my experience and get something from what somebody else might share as well. And I think having these kinds of conversations is a huge step in my ability to get out of boxes, or at least I could start cutting the tape off of it or something. I've had this
before you start working on the flap.
Right. I had to get a box cutter first. Before I could get out the box.
Step 1.
I needed tools to get out the box.
Okay.
And the box cutter is here, and I needed it. And that's why I'm getting out the box now, because I just feel like now that once you employ the tools, the resources are there for us to do it. A lot of times we're fearful. And I mentioned that earlier. It is a fear. It's scary to come outside of your comfort zone. It's not necessarily a place that you want to go, because 1, you don't know what's out there. You're scared to be out there and be outside the box. But I think there comes a time with age, with wisdom, with certain experiences that you say, what's the worst that can happen? And I think you're really at a point, I know I am in my life at this time to say, I'm gonna go ahead and take that chance. I'm gonna go ahead and see what that is like, and go to that place or talk to that person or address that issue that I had not done before, and see how it feels. If it feels like progress, if it feels like growth, understanding that I have to be self-aware enough to know myself and how far I can take it on each step. So I'm not trying to bust out the box. I'm not busting out.
Okay.
I'm not.
Just cutting the tape first. She's just got the tape. Okay.
I'm just gonna get my cutter.
She got the box cutter.
It's a pen, but I'm just like, shh. I'm just gonna start.
You're very methodical about how you get out of the box.
I'm a Capricorn.
I know. And so you're really only on the first corner of the box right now.
And I'm gonna evaluate that box logically to get out of it. I'm not gonna do more than it takes to get out the box right now. But when I do get out the box,
at least you acknowledge that.
When I get out the box, honey, I'm gonna be all the way out the box. I'm gonna be all the way. I have an issue with being in the middle. I'm not great with that gray area.
So you're in the corner, right, in the box.
I'll be in the corner, but I can't be in the middle. So the thing about it is, I'm either gonna be all the way in the box.
Do you hear this reasoning?
Or I'm gonna be all the way out the box. But in order for me to get out the box and stay out the box, I have to be consistent. I have to be intentional, and I have to be logical in what it is that I'm doing to get to where I want to go. I have a goal in mind, and those goals push me out the box. They help me get out there.
So far, you guys have mentioned, you've acknowledged the boxes, which is step one, right? This conversation would be nothing if we literally sat here and said, well, I'm not in a box. But we've acknowledged that we have boxes, and we've acknowledged what it takes to work your way out of those boxes, whether it be, self-awareness first, therapy, doing the work, working with the tools that you have. But in any of this, are any of you afraid of what might happen when you bust out of that box? Because on the outside of that box are going to be other people, other experiences. Are you afraid that the world is going to eventually see the real you when you get out of that box? Is that a fear for any of you?
It was a fear for me at first. And to be honest, I still struggle with that a little bit because, like I said, that people personality, I was, tripping about what other people think. But what I've discovered is that what's on the other side of the box, or getting out of the box, is way better than what I've been experiencing in the box. So that means if I want to change my perspective, if I want to change what's going on in my life, then I got to take that chance. And what I found is that taking that chance hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be in the first place.
Right.
That a lot of it was like, the fear was like, some of it was real. Some of it was just perceived in my mind because it was like PT said, it was uncomfortable. I too do not like speaking in public. It's something that I get nervous. I could post all day on Facebook or, do written email and text, but you got to get in public. What? Hold up. What you talking about? I got to get on camera. I got to do live. Wait, hold up. I'm used to being in the background. I'm good. Right. I'm good. I don't need to be up front. And especially being a woman of faith, that God has like been pushing me forward. And it's like to the front, and I'm like, okay, this is not feeling good right now, but I'm just gonna roll with it and see where it goes. Right. And a lot of the times that I've done that, I literally have really enjoyed it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it wasn't that bad. Let's do this. All right, next step. Like PG say, take it a little step at a time. But something I thought about when you said, what do we do to get out the box? I added strategic, and being intentional, and being your authentic self. So many times we hide who we really are First, because we don't know who we really are.
That's one.
Guilty,
And
right?
I've learned to do a lot of self-care, and that doesn't mean putting myself before others, but making sure that I'm taking care of me and loving me just as much as I'm taking care and loving other people. Because
Right.
you can't pour from an empty, jug.
Vessel. Yeah.
And so all of that, that being uncomfortable, that pushing past the fear is definitely one way that we can work on getting outside the box. Because when we do that, we impact and influence other people's lives. And then they get to understand, like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to be this, or I don't have to go through this, because now I have somebody that has gone through it, who is, has a testimony or can speak about that, and they've experienced it for themselves. And now I can see that, hey, oh, I don't have to go that route or that direction. I can go this way or go that way, or have a different thought process that's actually going to lift me up instead of tear me down.
That's
And
true.
it's that that you just mentioned, the testimony on the other side that motivates me to keep trying to break out of these boxes. But it's also the same thing that keeps me in my box, if that makes sense. Because I struggle with showing people who I am. So I've allowed people to put me in a one-dimensional box. You're just a mom. You just do this job. When there's so much more to me as a person, but I often forget that. And so what keeps me going is thinking, okay, if I don't continue to write, no one will ever know that someone has experienced the same things as they've experienced. And no one will ever know that you can actually overcome that. You can be a victor over that.
Yes.
But it's like a pendulum. I just it motivates me to get out of the box, but then it makes me want to stay in my box. I have to push myself to continue to be transparent. And it's hard because in the back of my mind, and I thought about this as I was preparing for our conversation, I really have a hard time with what other people think about me. I want to say, I could care less what you think, but still there's a part of me that struggles with what other people think. And I let them think what they want.
Yeah.
If you don't ask me, you don't talk to me to get to know me, I just let you run with your assumption. But then it bothers me.
Okay.
But that's my box that I'm working on. And gosh, I love that you guys are sharing your boxes. What I did not do, because we just started free flowing with our conversation. Initially, I reached out to Black women in business, and Pauline said to me, "Well, I don't know why I'm here." Well, you're here because not only are we women in business, we are women who are leaders in the community. And each one of you, probably unbeknownst to you, have a quality or that thing that I admire and that keeps me doing what I'm doing. PT knows that I'm a softie and I get really emotional easily. Yolanda supported me at an event where I literally had to sit in the car and pray to get out of the car. I'm like, nobody is going to listen to my story. Why am I even here talking about my book? And she showed up and showed out. Whoever showed up at my table, she was like, here, what, you want to talk? That pushed me.
Yeah.
Stephanie, PT knows, Stephanie is my sister. And while we weren't raised together, we have similar qualities. We are very introverted, and while we have a lot to offer the world, I see Stephanie as being in the forefront now. I'm still kind of pushing myself, like, you either want what I have or you don't. I'm not gonna push it on you. Stephanie is doing her thing with her business. I've shared her business. PT has seen her business. Yolanda, she does Stephanie Ginger Snap shots.
They're good.
Energy shots. They're very good. I tortured my boys with them when they were in high school, but they had energy to make it through the day. She's incorporated a detox system. Stephanie, I'm just now selling that stuff now. but it encourages me to keep pushing. And I invited the other ladies because there was something in them when I met them that told me that I could do this. It motivated. And so there are conversations that we've had individually that have encouraged me to have certain conversations on my channel. And I think it's time that my audience sees that I don't just make up friends in my head. I actually do talk to people. And we do have conversations about things, that people are uncomfortable talking about. And I think as Black women, it's important for us to have outlets where we can talk about things like this.
Yeah.
I've talked about boxes, and not intentionally, it just happens to come up this entire week, I think has been themed boxes. Even as I talk to my young men, just not letting people that you work with put you in a box, not letting so-called friends put you in a box, and don't put yourself in a box. Don't limit yourself to just being one thing. I love that everyone on this panel is multifaceted, multi-talented, and none of us want to talk to the public, but look at us.
Okay.
And I'm jealous that I don't have any of Stephanie's soup. I just have to go pick up some.
We all want some of that soup.
Yeah, we all want some soup. What's in our soup today?
And they're banging and clanging in that kitchen.
I know.
It is.
Imagining it's gonna be good.
Well, I wanted what is the name of the restaurant? Olive Garden. I wanted an Olive Garden soup, so I decided to make the zuppa Toscana. This is my first time.
Is that like the Italian wedding soup or something like that?
It does have the Italian sausages, but I did the chicken Italian sausage instead of the pork.
Okay.
So the first part of it is on now. I'll see how it comes out and go from there. I wanted a soup and I didn't want to do anything. Just normally I do just a broth-based soup. This one has heavy cream in it. But only a cup of heavy cream, so it shouldn't be that bad.
This is a soup type day.
It definitely is.
Let us see it at
Blanket.
least. We need to see the soup. I want to see what that soup looks like. I bet it's.
I know. You got to send us a picture of the soup.
Yeah, we got to see this brewing.
I get her
sizzling and cooking, and
it sounds amazing.
Me hungry.
It
right?
does.
All I have is water.
And see, I haven't had any water yet today, so which I did.
Look.
Yeah. Not a
water
good
box.
Yes.
I talked about Stephanie's business. You care to share? You've gone on a new venture, right?
Who, me?
No, Stephanie. Oh. No, you have not picked up any more ventures. I'm talking to you.
You talking to who?
I'm talking to you.
Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't even hear. I was listening about the soup, and I didn't even hear the conversation had changed. I'm like, my mind stuck on the soup. I'm like, whoa, okay. Actually, I am on a new venture, and I am on a new venture of health and wellness, and especially sending a message to not only women, but especially people of color about being an advocate for their own health. Something that the pandemic has really shown me is that doctors are necessary when, it's absolutely vital to have a doctor, but doctors push medicine. And I've grown up, my mom was like very holistic and always had like herbs and different things to address certain issues. And so since I grew up with that, I kind of did it, but then as I got an adult, I went away. But now that I'm, getting older, I've discovered that, I was having issues with diabetes and, approaching diabetes. I had, beginning arthritis, carpal tunnel, a lot of aches and pains and different things, the high blood pressure, acid reflux. A lot of it had to do with my weight. And when the pandemic hit, and it was like, you know what? No, I have to do better. And so I have been connected with a company that produces some of the most amazing nutritional supplements in addition to changing my diet more plant-based. And I've noticed how not only have I lost 26.5 pounds and over 31 inches, so but it's the internal change that it's done in my body and providing more energy and, you know, not having the aches and pains like I did before, and just performing more optimal health overall. And my passion and my mission right now is just to really share that with people so that they understand that there are ways, if you have the proper nutrition and including supplements, because it's not just the supplements alone, it's your diet, what you eat, and exercise and sleep. And when you do that, the body can and will heal itself. And so that's just something I'm passionate about. And I am on a mission to just change lives, be an agent of change. Awesome. And I'm retired. Yes, I'm retired from law enforcement. I was a support staff supervisor for 26 years, almost 30 years.
Wow.
And so, yeah, transitioning into that entrepreneurship where I'm building something for my family, and I can, we'll get to the point where I build residual income so that my family and I can leave an inheritance for my children and my children's children, that they can, then take that and still continue to build and, care for themselves. Because unfortunately, money rules the world. And if you don't have money, you have a very poor quality of life. If you don't have health, you have a really poor quality of life. Right. And so my thing is, changing that legacy and the trajectory of our family. And there's nothing wrong with wealth. That was one of the boxes that I was put in and led to believe. And there's really nothing wrong with wealth. We need it. And we are not prepared for it. And we really need to be prepared to have wealth. And wealth is not just talking about money. Wealth is also about health and connection and family, because we were not created to do life alone. We were created for community. So that's my mission and passion now.
I love it. I love it. I watched
and
you.
I have a book coming out next month. Yeah, Sonia's my cousin.
And there's more.
Ta-da!
I hadn't put that out yet, but now since I put it out, it's holding me accountable. So this will be my first solo book, because I am a published author. I've done devotionals, short stories, and co-authored 2 books. But this is the first one where I'm stepping out, and it's a solo project. And I'm excited about it. So,
congratulations.
What is it about?
It's called Living Your Life Golden. Oh. And a lot of times in life, we feel like we're lost or overwhelmed, or like things just aren't fitting right in our lives. And what I was shown is, because there are 3 parts of the human body: the mind, body, and spirit. I had worked on the spirit part, but I hadn't worked on the physical or the mental part. And because there was insufficiency in the 2, that's the reason why I was not complete. And so now that I have done the trifecta, all 3, showing how you actually need all 3 parts of the human being to ever be able to function and enjoy life and live your life golden. Because life is about living it, not just making it through, or not just striving. It's meant to live and enjoy and have fun and be prosperous and abundant. Yes. So yes, that's the book. And then it leads into courses. So yes, and I'm certified mindset coach.
I just finished coming? I
certification.
I feel like it is.
I feel like there's a TED Talk.
Yeah. Hold up. That's a box you're trying to put me in. No.
No. It is a piece of cardboard that might be used to form a box, but it's
okay. I get the box cutter.
I'm gonna lend you the box cutter. Soon as I get out this one, I'm gonna go ahead on and turn it over.
But right now she in the corner. She got to be in the center of the box and boom, bust out. She's just working on the tape in the corner. I think that is awesome.
I definitely look forward to that. Do you think that the place that you are in life, with having had a successful career, having experienced those negative effects of not having all 3 of those in alignment, and then now that you've retired and come out of that particular place, box, point in life, whatever you want to call it, has now afforded you the opportunity to be even more clear, determined, and intentional about this book at this point? Like, how were you inspired to get to this point with what you have?
I was inspired November of last year. Every year I do like a self-reflection. I look at, toward the end of the year, I look at, what goals did I have at the beginning of the year? Did I accomplish the goals? And if I didn't accomplish the goals, then why? And I have a real thing right now where it's like, I don't want to just have set goals and then continually not meet them. The goal is to meet the goal and to move forward. Like you said, keep moving forward. And that's where I discovered that, my quiet time, my devotion time it was revealed to me that, yes, your spirit woman is strong. Your spirit being is strong, but your physical, I was overweight. I was, like I said, I had all these health issues. I wasn't, having a very good quality of life. And it just, struck on me. And then my mindset wasn't where it needed to be. And I discovered that a lot of why I wasn't accomplishing things was my own head. And so I had to get in my head. I had to really identify what was I believing? What was holding me back? That was keeping me from moving forward, because God had already shown me. He's shown me on the stage speaking in front of thousands of people. And I'm like, no, that ain't me. And you ain't talking about me. But
tell the Lord he put her in the box.
See what I'm saying?
I'm gonna let him do what he want with the boxes. I'm gonna move where box he say go.
Exactly. And then so as I've opened up to the mind, body, and spirit, it's been really mind-blowing how things have like strategically lined up. And and it wasn't something that I did. I just became, like I said, became vulnerable and understood that, hey, okay, I gotta do, change who I am. I change me, I change who I attract, and then I change what I attract into my life. And so that's the whole, premise of it, because I was just stuck on, you just need the spirit man, the spirit being, that's going to solve everything.
Right.
It doesn't solve everything. And that's what he showed me. You're out of alignment. You're not properly balanced. And when we're out of balance, that's why we be running all over the place and doing 50,000 things. And no, I need you right here. And when you do that, then the overflow comes. And it's like, oh, snap, that was easy. All I had to do is listen and just do that one thing.
It just took me 25 years.
I know, we don't think it's that easy.
You need 2 box cutters, Pauline. Oh, man. I'm so sorry that one of the ladies that I invited, she's a new author. And it is ironic that your book is about mind, body, and spirit, because her book is titled, It All Boils Down to You. And it is about aligning the mind, body, and spirit. And it's a personal journey.
See?
Oh my gosh.
That sounds
this
like
was meant to be. This was meant to be. There are conversations that PT and I have had, and that it's just so on point, everything that you just said. This was just further confirmation for me. I'm so glad that we had this conversation. If this is not proof of anything to anyone that watches it, this is proof that we are all multidimensional, and we, embrace that about ourselves. And we know that we have the tools to get out of these boxes that it seems like a lot of these are self-imposed boxes. Did anybody catch that? I wanted to blame society for putting these boxes on me. I was not coming into this holding myself accountable. I was blaming others, but it turns out that it's actually me. Thank you, ladies, for pointing that out.
That self-awareness is huge, though.
Oh, it is.
That brings success.
It's scary. It is.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
But it means how many times do we hit that brick wall until we say, oh, snap. Okay.
Right. I got saved myself this big knot if I had just paid attention You know, I think we all are faith-based and have similar beliefs. How, I know, Yolanda, how it's impacted your life. Pauline or Stephanie, either of you want to share, how has your faith carried you in jumping from box to box or out of a box? I like that word. Yes. Yes.
She's thinking.
I was gonna let Stephanie go first.
That's what that was. She was like,
I'm gonna let Stephanie go first.
yeah.
Repeat the question for me one more time.
Your faith. How has your faith helped you in your journey to get out of a box?
Good question.
It seems like you two are thinking about it. I'm just gonna jump in and say, and I'm gonna be real honest with everybody. There have been times I have literally put my faith down. Not that I believed or didn't believe that God wasn't there, but I just felt like, you know, clearly I'm out of alignment with something. So let me just quit playing with him and figure it out myself. And that did not do me well. I tend to mess it up a little bit more. And I have found in picking it back up, because that's what I did. I literally put it down. I needed to change my approach. You know, I am a victim of church hurt, not once, but twice. And, you know, mind tells me, you know, it's man that did it. It wasn't the church, but I equated it all and I put it all there. But I'm slowly learning how to just really rely on God himself, and take man out of it. And that has helped me tremendously. And I don't know if any of you have had a similar experience where you've questioned your journey in your faith, if you've ever sat it down, picked it back up, or you just put it down altogether. But that's my truth.
Yeah, I think in retrospect of the faith question, I have had opportunities to say, okay, this works or this doesn't work, or, you know, maybe I should look at something else. And then and this is a whole nother conversation, but of course, at the end of the day, I do know that I am protected. I do know that I'm being guided, and I do know that I have a destiny, that there's a place that I'm being called to go, sent on a quest, or whatever you want to call it. I got that.
It's not space.
It is, but at the same time, I have to be very careful, because in some cases, isn't that a box that I have used to say I can't do that because that's not what good people do, or you know, you shouldn't do that. You know, it can also, in some cases, I don't want it to make it into a box for myself. And I think at times we have, you know, I can admit that I've done that, where, you know, the church don't like this, you know, I better not do that, or I'm not going to be able to do this or that. You know, I have done that. And I think as Yolanda was sharing some of her experiences, that as you grow and you go through different things and you realize and recognize through self-reflection and also perseverance that those things are imposed on you by others. And faith is a belief in something that's not seen, and understanding that there's covering in that, there's a protection, there's a love in that. Faith is saying that even if I put it out there, no matter which way it go, I had faith that this was the right thing to do. I was strong in my conviction. I said, I'm gonna try it. If I fall flat, I just do, but that's not gonna kill me. I'm just gonna learn from that mistake and keep going. And I think that's been my experience as far as faith and basing certain moves on faith, because I don't want it to be a can't do, we can't do that, or you can't go here, or you can't mix with that person, or you can't talk to those people. I don't want it to be that, because where's the joy and happiness? Where's the success in that? Where's the love in that? Where's the growth in that? So I think, again, using the theme of the box, not making it into a box, and continuing to just if you do make it a box, make it like the biggest box in the universe.
Right. With lots of room to grow inside.
Make it into a box. Make it into a multi-compartmented box or something.
With escalators
in your box.
Now we got layers in the box.
You got layers in the box, I guess. I think because I've seen and in experiencing different things that it has been used to put me in a box. It has been used to limit me from doing other things or talking to other people or accepting help from other kinds of people because of, that's, you don't mess with that. These are people you don't talk to or whatever. Right. And I don't want that to hold me back or anyone to that extent, because this world is a huge place. There's lots of different people here. We all got boxes that we're struggling to get out of, and people are constantly trying to stuff us back into. And how hard do we want to get out of that box at the end of the day? You have to have some kind of faith. You have to hold on to some kind of belief, as Yolanda mentioned, that the grass can be greener, that it could be good outside this box. The air is sweet out there. Let's get out there and see what this thing smells like out the box. And we can do that. But I think faith is that thing that helps us to be courageous, to move out of the box.
Right. Non-suffocating boxes with multiple compartments. Layers. She's building within the box.
She's building within the box.
I gotta say that for boxes, okay?
Silly, you want to get rid of some boxes, but there's that one comfortable box you just want to kind of expand.
You got the box, we have the keep, and then you have the throwaway box, and then
yes,
the I don't know box.
Right. Yep, they line the garage right now.
Yeah.
I think we all have some of those boxes.
Yes.
I challenge you ladies to get rid of those boxes in the garage. Get rid of one box. One box this week. One. Just one.
It. Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
It's a start.
We'll get rid of one box. Yeah, because if I haven't used it in about 10 years, I really don't need the box.
She said 10. I was gonna say 1, but 10? Okay.
I need to get rid of some boxes. Some boxes.
Your box is a storage unit like mine was. Mine was a storage unit, honey.
Oh, yeah.
That I held on.
It's decreased. It's decreased, but I still got some boxes I can get rid of.
I'll just challenge you to get rid of one.
I'm gonna do that because
you have a 10-year box that you need to get rid of.
I need to get rid of that box. I need to just shred and get rid of the box.
One box, 1 week, 1 woman. We could get out of this box.
Ooh, that's a good title of a book.
Oh, I know, right? Do you need help, Pauline?
She said book? 1 box, 1 woman, 1 week, 1 woman.
Yes.
Woo, girl,
I wrote it down, right?
That's a good title of it down. What?
Okay, you can have that one. You can have that one.
No, that's yours. You put that out there. That's your book.
Is this a collaboration?
Okay, it could be.
It could be.
It could be. Hey, that was deep. That just hit me like, woo.
1 box, 1 week, 1 woman. It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. You in, Stephanie?
Oh,
we just need a couple of paragraphs. You
in here from Stephanie?
Yeah, I'm here.
You got some heavy lifting with these boxes. We're gonna need.
I know. Stephanie, do you have boxes in the garage that you haven't touched in at least a year?
Actually, let me take that back. I had boxes in the garage that I hadn't touched for 2 years, but I started working on them.
Okay. So are you down with the challenge this week to get rid of one box?
Well, of course. Okay. Yeah.
I'm checking it.
I have to unpack.
Okay. I'm checking. I'm checking
Okay.
with you.
Not,
One
not
box
a
this week.
Not a problem at all. I got it.
Now I will say that the box that I probably get rid of this week will not be mine, but it'll be my mother's.
It'll be what?
Mother's box.
Oh,
Well, I don't think we limited whose boxes and which boxes.
she
I
said
think
a box.
her box might impact your box.
It might.
Sometimes it's a foundational box we gotta address.
Oh snap. I feel like we have the
She
introduction
going
to the book. She's going deep today.
She's going deep because I got some of Daddy's boxes in the garage. That's and when you said that, I was like, oh, that's right. I do got a couple Daddy's.
See?
Why am I holding on to this stuff?
Just go through the box.
Just go through the box and get rid of the box.
Get rid of the
Man,
box.
that was deep.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
I'm moving.
PT.
I was finna say PT and just
She just snapped it out.
It just come. See, that's where faith come in at. Because
One
you know
box,
that ain't
one
come
week, one
that
moment.
that is not coming straight out of me. You know that's I'm being the vessel.
You were obedient?
I'm being the vehicle.
that's right.
This,
She being
you know
the
this
best
is
one.
recorded. Now
I'm
you
just
gotta be
gonna
obedient.
open to it.
You gotta be obedient. I'm just obedient. You got it?
You know,
You ready?
you and these multi-syllable things that you do. Didn't we say one box, one word,
1 week.
1 week?
One woman.
box, 1 week, one woman.
These are very singular syllable words. And here
Feel
you
as
go.
though you are pressuring me. Well, ladies, it has been a wonderful conversation. I really would like to do this again.
Yes.
So if you're interested,
Yes.
please let me know. And hopefully we can have some other ladies join us. This was fun. I will post this on my YouTube channel. I will be shouting each of you out, and I will be sharing on social media, so you will see your name tagged out there.
All right.
Just saying.
All right.
All right, ladies. Well, enjoy this blanket weather. We'll have some virtual soup. Stephanie's the only one enjoying it.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need a picture or something.
I know something.
Okay. I will
Camera on
send
the
a picture.
pot. Put the camera on the
I
pot.
know. She like, she's so influential. Camera on the pot. You see how she looks?
We won't see the pot.
That's you. That's not the pot. Look.
Oh my God. Just see, okay, let me, I have to try to figure out how to turn this around.
No.
Okay. Is that it? No.
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 If she got a background, it's not gonna show.
You have a background on?
I don't know. I have no
Okay.
clue.
Okay.
That's all right. We're
All
gonna
right,
get
sister.
we're gonna get an actual
We'll
picture
get it
of
together.
it.
Yes, an actual picture of the
Snap
soup.
a picture.
I will send you a picture.
And I will share it with the group, and we will
Yeah.
see our virtual bowl of soup today.
We had soup in our box today.
We just added another box.
A
It's
cooking
delicious.
Or in
box.
our current box, our comfy
It's a
box.
delicious box of
Yes.
soup.
It's got snacks,
A food box.
Skittles, and all kind of delectables.
Let's do it.
You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay dry.
Love
I
y'all.
love each and every
Love
one
you.
of you.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.